Hi. Let's see. Okay, here we are. I hope it's working. So here we are. Welcome to our days 16 through 20th for our Yoga Nidra journey. So according to my calendar, day 16 is tomorrow, Saturday. So I just wanted to do this recording so that you have time to watch it and we can chat about it. So, I hope everyone's doing well. Things seem to have quieted down on Facebook. But yeah, I hope everyone is feeling a little bit more well rested. So, and as we're switching up now and going into the release stage, our second stage or phase. So, first 15 days, we were focusing on rest. And so we were focusing on physical body, actual like physical tiredness and exhaustion. And now for the next 15 days, we are going to be focusing on mental and emotional exhaustion and tiredness. And so as we are coming in, we're going to be focusing for this first, next 5 days, we're going to be focusing on the mind. And we're going to be switching up and now doing the release phase meditation. So it is a longer one. I think the one that comes with the book is about half hour. And then the one that I recorded ended up, I think, being like 25 minutes. And so, of course, you're free to use either one. It is the same script, right? That just whichever one you prefer. And it was so interesting. So it's a longer one, right? And now for the rest one, which is what, like 15 minutes or so, I think I'm able to like stay awake through the whole thing and listen to the whole thing. And that's actually been fairly recent development, even though I've been doing it for I think like about a month. Since I'm going back to Beverly next week, and I started when I was back there. So, and now I'm able to stay awake for like that 15-minute rest meditation. So I think my physical body is kind of catching up on rest. And then, so this one, the release meditation, I've done it now a couple of times. I haven't been doing that consistently. Just like, and I like tried it early on, and then after doing rest meditation for 2 weeks, I'm like, okay, well, let me try the release again, and I did it a couple more times. And so I've done it a few times. And then yesterday, or there was the day before, as I was recording it and reading the scripts, and I'm like, oh, really? That's what it says? Like, there's certain parts that all these times that I've done it, I've like tuned out. And I was like, I don't recall this part like whatsoever. Um, so it's just kind of interesting. So I would imagine that you'll probably have a similar experience that might be a bit challenging to stay awake and alert for the whole time. So for this meditation, you are actually asked to stay awake and alert and with it throughout the meditation. But if you don't, it is, it's totally fine. You'll still hear it on some level, and maybe the next day you'll stay more alert through a different part. It's all just a process. And let's see. So another thing that I wanted to mention. So this is now about your like emotional body. So it can be a little bit more emotionally challenging then. And so I found that when I just started doing it, like I did it and I came up with a different intention. So you can choose a different intention for this one, or you can continue with the one you have. You will be also prompted to think of your intention for this one during the meditation. And it can be something that you are trying to change within yourself, some pattern or emotion that you're trying to release. So anyway, so like I had that, and I'm like, okay, what do I want to release? And with my mom moving in, and I've been having some challenging times around that emotionally. And so the intention that kind of came to me for this was I view my mother with kindness. And so I did that. And so I did it like twice. Well, I did it like once. I'm like, okay. And then a few days later, I did it again. And I'm like, okay, I'll do it again. And I had such resistance to doing any kind of yoga nidra. I'm like, I just don't want to do it. I can just sleep tonight. I don't want to. And I realized that, it's the intention, it's challenging the deep seated emotions and patterns, and it's making it more challenging. So I gave myself permission to just do the rest one and not the release one. So if you start doing this and you did it one night and you slept through it, or you were in and out, but then the next day you're like, I really don't want to do this, do the rest one. You do not have to stick with this every night. Maybe it will come and it will be easier later on. Maybe you won't have that kind of issue as I had. I don't know. But if you're starting to feel resistance to doing the practice, give yourself permission to do the shorter rest version and do that. When we are clearing emotions and we're clearing these deep-seated patterns that we have, it actually takes a lot of energy out of you. It releases a lot of energy, but it also takes a lot of energy to then process it. So give yourself permission to rest a little bit more. So with this, what are we doing for the next 5 days? So it is focusing on the mind, and it is about letting go of burdens. So whatever burdens you might have in your emotions, we are focusing on the mental body, which is the third body of awareness. So we had the physical body, we had the energy body, and now we have the mental body of awareness. So these are the habits, and you begin to loosen any kind of self-defeating habits and beliefs that you hold around about yourself. So you're going to be practicing the meditation, the release one, and you can hold your touchstone in your left hand, or you can put it on your solar plexus and your power center. Well, self-power center. They're all power centers, but your center for personal power. So you can do that there. So you can create a new intention. It can focus on a habit that you'd like to break or an issue like health that you'd like to address. You can continue to listen for your soul whispers and track them down. And then there might be some other optional things. So the goal with this is that we're trying to go from disconnected to powerful. And let's see, what else did I want to do? In this, there's going to be a whole bunch of like new techniques introduced in the script, in the Yoga Nidra, in that meditation itself. One of them that is really powerful, and I think I zone out on it frequently, is the power of holding opposites. So you're going to be invited during the meditation to feel powerless, to remember how that feels, and then to feel powerful, and then to feel both of them in the body at the same time. And then there's another one as well, like feeling confused and then feeling clarity. And so you're invited to hold the opposites. And what this practice trains you to do and introduces this idea is that you can be both things, seemingly opposing things at the same time, so that you can use that throughout your life. It's all about your life, right? And not just this brief time in the meditation. Even this meditation's half an hour, right? So it's half an hour out of 24 hours. So you still have another 23 and a half hours where you can be something else. And so we are trying to bring the gifts from this half an hour into the rest of your day and your life. And so holding the opposite so that, you might be feeling challenged by something in your life. You might be feeling scared. And as you recognize that, then you can invite yourself to hold the opposite of that. So if you're scared of taking a leap and being brave, or doing something that challenges you, then you can think of like, okay, well, when did I feel brave? And you can try to hold that and then hold them at the same time and then do whatever you need to do, kind of holding those opposites. So some of the opposites common emotions that are listed here would be angry, loving, sad and happy, pessimistic and optimistic, hopeless and hopeful, fearful and brave, exhausted and rested, lonely and complete. Um, and then also she has some around menstruation and pregnancy and birth. So just when you feel that you can't do something, if you can hold the emotion of like, I can't do this, and holding both of them. So I think that's a pretty cool like technique to do. And so we're going to be, you're going to be introduced to that in the meditation and see how it goes. I do have to say, I do tune out of that one at some point. So let's see, what else? So we are using the touchstone now on the third power center, the solar plexus. So here it's actually yellow, the color. So if you have any yellow around you, either in your clothing or jewelry, this is a good time to focus on that. Let's see, it also has to do with digestion. So if there's any kind of digestion related practices or cleanses you'd like to do, this would be like a good time to do that. In the book she talks about like a cleanse, going on a cleanse and all that stuff. But if doing something like that is just, and we're starting tomorrow, so if this is just really not on your radar at the moment, you can, and you haven't done this before, you can try the intermittent fasting. It seems that it works for a lot of people and it does help reset your system. So you can try that, and you can find online how to do it. It's pretty easy, it just this. You basically shorten like the number of hours that you eat. So instead of eating like breakfast, I don't know, at 7 in the morning, and then eating throughout the day and finishing with dinner at 7 at night, which gives you like that 12-hour window for eating, you shorten that so that either your dinner is going to be earlier in the evening, or that you skip breakfast. And you have to work with that. And so you can look that up and see, but it does, having more of like this fast period, that it helps reset your body. So that might be something that you can try to do. Let's see what else. For the intention, so creating a new intention, you can come up with that. So let's see. Some questions around that might help you. What do I want to feel for myself, whether the situation changes or not? How would I like to be in this situation? How would it make me feel if I had what I wanted? So you can write around that and then see if intention will come up. And some of the examples that she has in the book is, I'm parenting with peaceful language. I'm honest, loving, and forgiving in my relationship. My body is strong, powerful, and energized. I feel authentic, confident, and bold at work. I eat foods that nourish my body and help me feel good. So something, see if there's a new intention that might come up for you. Okay, let's see. So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to chat about. And yeah, we'll see how that goes. Like holding the opposites is pointed out as being one of the most powerful practices for this period. So see if you can practice that and try to ideate how it might show up in the rest of your life. Okay, so I think that's it. So I hope everyone's doing well. And again, try it out for sure, right? Definitely, right? That's why we're doing this. But don't feel pressured that if you feel the resistance to do it again, don't skip it all together. Just go back and do the rest meditation, which is a little shorter, right? And it's different. It doesn't have quite as much emotional charge. There's still stuff that comes up, right? But this makes it that kind of emotional charge be way more powerful. So see what works for you. And I'd love to hear about it. Okay, bye.